right there you can see I have one valve, two gate valves, as well as you can see I have a check valve and another check valve. And right now, only you can see only one has flow through it. So when water goes flowing through it, it puts positive pressure onto the other check valve, this one, which helps keeps it shut. So I'm not doing like a reverse flow through the other pump to, you know, not get any GPH. So that's, you know, in the commercial pipe fitting industry, that's how you set up for check valves. You know, having a check valve up high behind your return or on your overflow, there's not enough head pressure. I mean, really, there needs to be a couple PSI of head pressure in order to create a good seal. Using a check valve right behind your tank, right where the return valve is, it just doesn't work. That's not right. So that's why all these people are always complaining about leaks and whatnot. That's why, because you don't have any pressure for it. Here, that's how you properly hook up check valves. Okay, so and then when it switches over, both of them actually pretty much stay on, but still the other one reduces pressure, the other one will give out its water, and then both of them are open. Now I also have it where if pump 1 dies, because I have the Apex controller, I have a virtual outlet, so if one pump dies, it'll sense a low flow sensor, which will then automatically turn on the other pump. And because I have a check valve, that check valve will close, the other one will open, and my tank is saved. I won't have any now the only way I could have dead loss in my tank is if the second pump fails. So, you know, again, that's redundancy, and what I've learned is redundancy is everything in this system. Now, I don't have it with me. It must be in my garage. But set this back here. I built my header wrong. You know, me being a pipe fitter and doing what I do, I built it real fancy like. I had check valves and turns and T's everywhere. But these pumps just don't have power. Not like out in the field. I mean, out in the field, our pumps are 480 volt. They can pump up probably thousands of gallons of water up hundreds of feet, up a high-rise building, 80 floors, you know, and still, you know, branch off of that through a bunch of 90s, small pipe, and then back down and continue the loop, the cycle, over and over and over. These little aquarium pumps just don't have power. You know, I just believe, you know, they say it gets 2,000 gallons right out of the head, but, you know, realistically, that's just, you know, not an accurate. I don't think it's an accurate way of saying it, because it doesn't have any no levels to the pump at all. So I think it's just too much, little over advertising and what a pump can really do, in my opinion. And until then, that's just the way I want to say it. Which I wish I had the header to show you, because it was about $1,000 mistake. Now the way you saw my header, it's very clean looking, very simple. So one thing I'm going to do, one thing I noticed in my other tank is that I was getting you know, like algae growth on parts and areas where I don't want because of the refugium. So I'm going to, let's see, with the sump, I'm going to put black acrylic around where the light is going to be at, so I don't get any, you know, kind of algae growth or anything in the sump. You know, there's no light. Hopefully there won't be really any growth at all to cause like any kind of algae growth or whatnot. Because in my skimmer, the light from the refugium hits it, and it's kind of getting green and brown on the inside. So I think that's because the refugium light. But we'll see. It's you know, one thing about this hobby is there's no wrong way of doing it, just so long as your corals, your fish are happy. You know, I mean, we all have different ideas and ways of doing it. There's no right way or wrong way of doing it. So let's take you for more of a tour. Let's go check out the computer. So So there it is. That's my GPH that I'm doing right now. I mean, I have my flow 1, flow 2, which is the return. Flow 3 is to the refugium, so I can tune that in perfectly. As far as the cabinet goes, let's start on this side. Do believe this one is, I haven't figured, I don't remember, but yeah, I do believe this is the automatic water changer with the dose. And I got 4 MP10s, so there's one there, there's one hiding behind. This one here is for magnesium, so I'll have alkalinity, calcium, magnesium. I am saving space for the Trident. Eventually, when they do eventually come out, it'll fit here right in the middle. I'll have room for my magnesium, and then I'll have the waste product from the Trident, you know, in here somewhere. I still have to calibrate everything. It's not done yet. So that's what my cabinet. Now with my cabinet, the reason why, I mean, it's really compact. And if I take, and that's because I have it against the wall right now, but I didn't want the cabinet to take away from the display. So that's why it's so small. Now, I did go with a bigger one. I did try this guy out, but it's too big. I think it takes away from the picture. The picture meaning the display. So I didn't want to do that. And as you can see, I have no water inside the display yet. There's no water because I am running a bypass, which is why you see the funky hose in the middle. Because I think it was pretty important as far as setup. It's just not to waste a lot of water and whatnot. And now I can still set up and I can do my aquascaping. So, which I've been waiting for this video to be done so I can get it against the wall finally. Also, I put in, see, I have computer fans, which is pretty cool. One high right there, and there's a flat looking one, which is this guy. Another computer fan. No, my hardware started running out of coupling, so kind of loose, but it still held. And I use that for cooling. You know, living in Southern California, it gets pretty warm. I don't got to worry about the coldness. It's the heat I got to worry about. You know? And also, I have a UPS backup. Along with the Ecotech battery that you saw earlier, and I get about 7 hours of the battery backup. So now, as you can see, the back side of the tank, which, you know, no one shows the back side of their tank, which I think is real important. We'll start with the computer. So you see, I have 2 UPS setups. I'm sorry, the EB832 setups, and you can see I labeled just about everything. I think that's really important. I think the first thing I should have done, and I highly recommend to everyone else, is to, as soon as you get it from, you know, you get it, whatever product you got, put a label on it. That way you know exactly where it goes, because, you know, all this turns into just a cluster anyways. And, you know, now I can easily identify what's what. So, and off of the UPS, the only thing I have off